Hello, and welcome. Today is a chilly summer day, so I decided to make myself a cup of tea and go over a lesson that I'm dreaming of doing this fall with my elementary music students. And so we're going to jump right in. Again, if you've been here once, then you know, grab your notebook, grab your pen. We're going to go over a great lesson surrounding the story Strega Nona. Now, Strega Nona is just a wonderful book to bring into any class for any reason, but it also goes so well, so easily into a music room. So I love it because it's going to help me to bring in some movement. It's going to help me to bring in some solfege, and I'm even going to get my kids creating a rhythmic pizza at the end. The first thing that I love to do with any of my lessons is I'm a firm believer in scarf dances. I don't have too much time to go into all of that right now, but if it is something that you're interested in, I just posted a Vivaldi's Autumn scarf dance for that, which we're talking about Strega Nona today. Strega Nona is Italian for grandmother witch, and the entire book takes place in Italy. So why not also bring in an Italian composer that you can maybe talk about later on by going, hey, do you remember Strega Nona? Well, she came from Italy, and so did Vivaldi. But the other reason that I love this story is it's so simple to get students singing. Now, if you've ever dealt with reluctant singers before, you know how difficult and how much of a challenge that can be. I usually don't have any trouble getting my kindergartners, first graders, but my second graders, when I'm trying to get them to sing, that seems to me, and maybe you've had a different experience, put it in the comments below, that seems to me to be the age where students start becoming self-conscious about their singing. Now, I have a whole professional development session that shows you how I got my students singing through movement. And I'm going to tell you just how you can access that later on, but really the main point is to not make it stressful, is to give your students some sort of distraction. And this story is great for that distraction because we're going to be doing something while we sing. Now, this story, again, it's so beautiful, it's so simple. I really don't have time to go through all of it, right? What I'd say is if you're planning to do this lesson plan, make sure you have the physical copybook, or if you're in a pinch, there are recordings on YouTube that I know that I have also used. But we really want to make sure that we are supporting wonderful authors that make these books that are just perfect to go into our classrooms. Make sure you are too. But basically the story starts with this lovely Strega Nona, meaning grandmother witch, and her pasta pot. And whenever she sings a certain song, again, perfect to bring into the music classroom, the pasta pot magically fills with pasta. And this is the song to go along with that. Now, I've used some approximations for the pitches and the rhythms because I'm using this for kindergarten through second grade, right? And if I'm being honest, I don't really even use it as a time to talk about sharps, although they definitely are in there. But again, it's an approximation from me just so I can get my students, again, the focus of this is to get them giving me some solfege and to get them singing. And the way that I get them to give me some solfege is by adding it in. I say, who can find the most do's, right? Can you go up and tap on the notes that you see with their own special line? Because in this case, we're working with fixed do on C. So then I have a student go up and they find me as many do's as they can. Same thing with re, mi, fa, sol, and la. And the whole song kind of goes like this. Bubble, bubble, pasta pot. Boil me some pasta nice and hot. I'm hungry and it's time to sup. So boil me some pasta, fill me up. Already just by teaching your students the hand signs and getting them to do something while they're singing is going to help those reluctant singers. But something that's even better to help them is to teach them a very basic version of the tarantella, a traditional folk dance from Italy. Now again, I'm thinking of this through kindergarten through second grade. If I was using this with older students, then we'd really want to talk more about the history of the tarantella. How they thought that if you were bitten by a tarantula, you had to dance this dance and keep getting faster and faster until you basically passed out. And then you wouldn't be poisoned. Though a tarantula's bite isn't actually poison enough to kill you, but I digress. But again, really it's just to give your students singing and moving at the same time. So let me show you a little of the tarantella. Again, we're thinking very basic, we're thinking very simple. We think that we just handed out tambourines, which in my classroom, I didn't have enough tambourines for everyone, so some kids got tambourines and the other kids got hand drum. It all worked out. Taking the tambourine, or hand drum, and going, foot out, foot in, then tap around. Then do with the other foot. Foot out, foot in, then tap around. I like to put the heel up when you go out, and then the toe up when you go out. So it's heel up, toe down, then tap around. Other side, heel up, toe down, then tap around. And obviously I'm tapping my tambourine or hand drum during it. And then that goes perfectly with the words. Bubble, bubble, pasta pot. Boil me some pasta nice and hot. Then my hands go up and then come down on my knee. I'm hungry and it's time to sup. So boil me some pasta, fill me up. Is this the best version of a tarantella? Of course not, but it is for kindergarteners or second graders. And it's to get them singing while they move, which again is one of the big points of this lesson. My philosophy as a teacher is that movement is music and movement is learning. And when my students are having an active experience, like dancing the tarantella while they sing, then they're not only going over rhythm and pitch and learning about a different folk dance from Italy, but they're also engaged with me. They got a chance to move, to reset, so that they are more effective learners. So again, not only have I given them a scarf dance to Vivaldi, we've gone over the pitches that they need for the song throughout Strega Nona. And if your students aren't ready for the pitches yet, then maybe they're just ready for the steady beats. And we've had a fun time not only reading the story, but actively engaging and participating with it. And by this point, they may be ready for a movement break. Now, the 2 different movement breaks that I'm going to show you are already up on my YouTube channel, so feel free to go ahead and grab that resource. And there's 2 different ways that you can make a musical pizza. The first way is super movement intensive, where depending on what topping you're adding to your pizza, your students are going to be doing a movement. On cheese, they're jumping up, and on sauce, they're getting down low. If you have students with a lot of energy, then trust me, by the end of this, they will be tired. I'll show you a little clip now. And again, we were just talking about Italian composers. So throughout this, you not only maybe started with the scarf dance from Vivaldi, but now you're also doing William Tell from Rossini. Get ready to have them jump first. Go jump, low, low, jump up, get low, jump up, get low. You can see how this would make them exhausted by the end. So I'll let you go ahead and check that out. Again, easy, simple movement break, but they still didn't really make a pizza unless they add some rhythms. So they're gonna need some tas, they're gonna need some titis, and maybe even some tika-tikas, and then they'll have to use those skills to actually put in what rhythms they need for these different pizza toppings. Cheese, cheese, mushroom, cheese. Let's keep things simple. Sauce, mushroom, mushroom sauce. Now again, this can be something that you're grabbing a quick assessment just by handing out pieces of paper and having them write either ta, titi, or tika-tika, or you're using my digital or printable assessment right here. Which again, if you want to grab this lesson, plus I am still having my Soaring Summer event, which means that you get 2 free months to access my entire curriculum, where Strega Nona is actually right at the top. But not only my full curriculum, but also my movement assessments, my movement breaks, all of my scarf dances, and over 20 hours of my professional development. Which, if that sounds like a lot to you, I also break down into bite-sized pieces with my 5-week soaring challenge, where I'm going to show you how to bring movement into every aspect of your classroom. So the Soaring Summer Free is still going on. I will link it below. And if you want to join in the 5-week challenge, but don't necessarily want to sign up for entire membership, I also have that as just a freebie that I'm giving out right now. This 5-week challenge also comes with 5 free workbooks and will end with a live session with me on August 15th, where we're going to be talking about the entire 5-week challenge and mostly about how to stop managing your classroom and instead start moving it. Because if you're someone who's dealt with classroom management as one of the hardest parts about teaching, then you are not alone. So we can't wait to see you August 15th. I will link everything below. And before I show you my last little rhythm challenge, go ahead and make sure that you have liked and subscribed and are following along, because we are going to be going over lots and lots of more lessons to get you ready for the upcoming school year. So again, we have scarf dance to Vivaldi. We've gotten some solfege practice in, or some steady beat. We've gotten our students up and moving to Rossini's William Tell. We've maybe gathered a cheeky little digital or printable assessment. But if you still have time at the end of class, then why not just let them make a rhythmic musical pizza? Still to Rossini's William Tell. But this time it can be a cool down that they can do from their seats. Nice and calm. You get the point. So with that, I hope you go ahead and bring Strega Nona into your classroom however you do, because it is such a simple and beautiful story that is perfect for the music classroom. Thanks for giving me your time, and see you in the next one.